I said, sure, and I thank you so much for coming out this morning to be here. Obviously, we face as big a challenge in moving toward energy security and independence today as my parents' generation did in trying to deal with the challenges of the post-World War II world, where we had to figure out how we were going to be secure in the face of a threat about Soviet communism and about nuclear weapons, and to try to figure out how we could manage that difficult challenge. Well, today we know that we have to move away from our dependence on foreign oil. Everybody says that. Our problem has been actually trying to figure out how we would do it, because we don't want to undermine our standard of living. We don't want to have the lights go out. But we've got to get serious about how to do it, and it is companies like Pioneer and DuPont that are going to help us get the answers. And what I've tried to do in the Senate is to push the debate, not to be satisfied with saying, well, we're getting ethanol from corn right now, so isn't that great? Let's put a big gold star on our foreheads. Well, no, that's not enough. That's why the research being done here is so important. But we're still subsidizing the oil industry, which doesn't need our tax dollars, because they have a market that is paying them premium prices for what they produce. So I've proposed legislation to create a strategic energy fund to take the subsidies away from the oil companies and put them into renewable fuel technology research and production. Because I would like to see us start to put money behind the research that's going on here, and I congratulate you for getting one of the grants that has come out of the federal government, but this should be replicated many times over if we expect to be competitive. You know, when Sputnik went up all those years ago, we knew that we had to do something to respond. And President Eisenhower created an agency called DARPA, which some of you may have heard of. It's the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. Now, what was that? It was the best of America. It took federal government dollars, put them to work in our universities, in our great companies like this one, and said, help us solve the problems and help us define new problems that we may not have even thought of. So out of DARPA came not only military uses, and along with NASA, after President Kennedy said, let's send a man to the moon by the end of the decade, a lot of advances in space technology, but the internet, the microprocessor, things that could never have been dreamed of in 1957 and 58, but once we unleashed the American ingenuity, put government support behind that, all of a sudden we once again surged to the front in science, technology, and research. We have to do the same thing when it comes to energy.